Good morning. It is 20 to 6, the 18th of January 2023, and I am up and about to start the day because today I'm doing something very, very exciting. I am doing a speaking engagement or a 90-minute workshop for final year students. Now, what is exciting about this is that it feels like a full circle moment. When I was in varsity, I had Sasol and Zalo pay my fees, but the administrator of those funds was StudieTrust. And so last year, must have been in December, I got contacted by somebody who works in the talent development division of StudieTrust, and they were like, hey, I've been following your content and I'd really like it if you came and spoke to our final year students on purpose to profession. And I was like, hey, what do you know? I was actually a benefactor of a bursary that was administered by StudieTrust, and so this feels like a full circle moment for me. I'm totally excited to do it. So today, that's what is happening. I woke up at 5. I normally don't wake up at 5 because I love being asleep. I don't like going to bed, but when I'm in bed, I like being in bed. So I don't normally wake up at 5, although it's a practice I want to get into because I've written down my 5 a.m. routine. I think there's value in waking up early, getting things done. But in any case, I'm going back to gym. So going back to gym then means I have to wake up early because I like gymming in the morning and not in the afternoon because I'm too lazy for it. So yeah, that is what the day is going to look like. Lalelan, I think I need to get married soon, because when I think about not having someone to follow me around when I'm walking there in my nice outfit and who's shooting me when I'm speaking, young affector. So I think this year Jesus just needs to make a plan. Jesus needs to make a plan. Angipenje umendo. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, but it would have been great to have somebody to, follow me throughout the day. But I will ask somebody that's there to help me document the day, and I'll bring you along. This year, I really just want to document my life as a full-time purpose practitioner. If you follow me on Instagram, if you're on my mailing list, my word for the year is fully. I'm doing everything fully this year. Not only am I completing things, but I'm doing things ngokuphelela, like wholeheartedly with everything. So if there's anything that I'll step into that will not require all of me, or that I know I can't give my all, I'm not even going to do it. So being a full-time purpose practitioner is something I've always wanted to do, and I want to bring you along. I want you to see what it looks like to live out your purpose fully. I want you to see the beauty and the benefit of it. I want you to experience the beauty and the joy and the fulfillment and the impact that I experience. Okay, so tag along, come along. I'm just drinking hot water. My mom put me in this practice of drinking hot water every morning, so that's what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna go step into the shower, get ready, and then head out. So I'm gonna have my breakfast day because they invited me for breakfast as well. Come along, have a good day with me, and let us go speaking. One of the things I love doing with all my heart, speaking. I'm totally excited for this one. Come along. So I've made it to the campsite. You know what's funny? This campsite is the same campsite that I came to for the winter seminars when I was a student and my bursary was under StudieTrust. It's so crazy. Like, when I say full circle, it feels like deja vu. So to be on the other side today speaking and empowering is so amazing. Like, I could show you the place, but I'm afraid I'm going to lose my lighting. So come with me. I'm going to try record as much footage as I can on my own, and then after that I'll just ask for help. But I'm so excited, so excited. My name is Mpumi Mbonane, as I've been introduced. Actually, I like referring to myself as Mpumi K. And people ask me, okay, what does the K stand for? K actually stands for knowledge. So my first name is Knowledge. My second name is Unompumelelo. And today I'm going to speak to you guys about something that I wish I had heard when I was in grade 9, even. So that I made the right choices of subjects, and then matric that I knew. Actually, not matric, grade 11, because that's when you apply for varsity, right? I would have known what to choose and what not to choose. I'll run you through my story. You'll hear how I got to the point that I'm at now and how you can avoid the pitfalls that I unfortunately went into. So yeah, we are going to be discussing purpose to profession, and I hope you get as much from it as I have put into it. And I also hope this is not information that you just receive and you're like, oh, that is nice, but you actually ruminate on it and you think about it. So when you get home or you get to school or wherever it is, you make the right choices for yourself. Okay. So who am I? Susan already said that I am actually one of you. At some point in my life, I sat on the chair that you're sitting on, and I was listening to these people giving these presentations like, one day I'm gonna be there. And look at me now. So dreams do come true, they say. But more than anything, I think intentionality and following and pursuing a path that you know is honest to you and is not a path that pleases anybody else is just what I want you to get out of this message, right? So I was one of you. In fact, one day I was in a physics class in grade 9 or 10, I can't remember. And I was called into the principal's office and I was scared. Principal's office, what's going on? And I was asked to sign a document. Listen, I was naive. I signed this document not even knowing what it was about. After signing, I was told, actually, this is a document for you to receive a scholarship from StudieTrust. I had no idea who StudieTrust was. I didn't know how these people got wind of me, but they paid for my grade 10, grade 11, and grade 12 when I was in high school. And when we were applying for bursaries in matric, some white girl was sitting next to me, and I'm calling her a white girl. I wish she was my friend, but she wasn't. She was sort of like public enemy number 1 in school because she was number 1 in everything. So I was sitting next to her, and I saw her filling out these forms, and I'm like, StudieTrust, what are you doing? She's like, no, this is a bursary that you can apply for. And in my mind, I'm like, I know this term. I know the StudieTrust name. And so I got a form as well. I filled it out, and December came, and we were all waiting for results. Results are not coming until January, and I was so nervous. No bursary had accepted me at that point. And in January, I said to my sister, listen, you work at the Department of Labor, you work for the government. Nobody wants to fund my tertiary, so I'll just have to work with you. I had resigned, I'd given up. I'm smart, I think I'm smart, but nobody seems to want me. It's fine, I'll work for the government. And one day, sitting on the carpet in my sister's bedroom, I get a string of emails. StudieTrust, Safol Nzalo. I'm like, what is going on? When I saw the email that said, we are granting you a bursary, guys, you could not stop me. I was bouncing off the walls. I was so excited. So not only did they fund my grade 10, 11, and 12, they actually also funded my full 4 years of studying what I did study. I'll tell you what it is as I unpack my story. So I owe a lot to StudieTrust, I really do. And for me, this is a full circle moment. One day I was sitting where you are, and today I'm standing in front of you, and I hope they invite me again and again and again and again. All right, so this is how we'll be spending our time together. I'll share a bit of my story. I mean, I've started,
but I'll share the story that is relevant for why you guys are here and why this presentation is happening. And then I'll help you craft your own story. So you're gonna walk out of here with so much more knowledge of yourself and so much wisdom. So what wisdom is just applied knowledge, right? So you won't only have knowledge of yourself, but you'll have wisdom to know how to apply whatever knowledge you know about yourself to your life. And then in the end, if you guys have got any questions, I'll take those questions and we'll call it a day. I've got 90 minutes with you and I'm seeing somebody rubbing their eyes. Oh, Jehovah, don't die on me, I repeat. Okay, so let me start with my story. And my story starts with a beautiful beginning. When I was a child, I would go to church every Saturday. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. Go to church, and at my church, we've got these things called Sabbath schools. Right, so the beautiful thing about my church is the people that speak aren't just the pastors or the preachers. Anyone has a say. Anyone can speak. So I was a little kid like this, would stand in front and sing at church and present a program. So what you're seeing here is actually something I used to do when I was a little kid. In school, whenever there was an opportunity to do a presentation at assembly, guess who would raise their hand? Yes, me. I remember there was a day that we had to, so we watched a movie for, I think it was grade 11, English. We watched a movie and we were supposed to give a review of that movie. So we watched the movie together as a class, and then each and every person had to give their interpretation of this movie. So the dramatic me then collects props and prepares my speech, and I come to the front of the class. So in the story, in my reflection or my interpretation of the story, I was playing my mom and me. So the me would be wearing a uniform and talking gamnandi, and it's time for my mom to speak. I put on glasses, put on a jersey, and put on a voice as well. The class loved it. My teacher was like, this was so amazing. I will take 1 mark away because you didn't really reference the movie a lot, but we do have another assignment coming up where everyone needs to give another prepared speech. You're not going to do it because you've done so well in this. I'm giving you full marks for that thing as well. So this is, what do they say? I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, okay? This is not my first rodeo. I've been doing this. After school, so I went to a multiracial school and I lived in Soweto. So what I'll do after school is I would run home. Cannot run home. It seems like I'd run from town to Soweto. No, I'd get off the transport, run into the house, take out my uniform and call all the kids in the streets with come. I want to teach all of you English. I'm going to teach all of you maths. And that's what I did. I used to teach those kids. And because I was privileged, I got toys as well. So when everyone was done learning, I reward them with play. So now I would play with my toys. I would steal, who knows, it's called kosepapa. Yes. I would steal kosepapa and tomato in the kitchen so we can play and have our own meal there. We would have umadlalisa with this mommy and baba. This is the life, right? This is what we used to do. So moral of the story is I've been doing this, right? School holidays, everyone would still come to my yard because this is where the fun happens, right? This is where things happen. We would play, we didn't call it Miss Essay, then we called it beauty contest. We would play beauty contest, so it wasn't a lot of us. So one day you would be Uzozilini, the next day you would be a judge, the next day you'd be MC. We played all the parts, we did all the roles. We also play Coca-Cola Pop Stars. Now I know it's called Idols. Back then we used to call it Coca-Cola Pop Stars. Time again. Loved it. So, we also play Chiga Magic. Do you guys know Chiga Magic? Yes. You're not that young. Great. We used to play Chiga Magic as well. If you're not the dancer, you are the audience. If you're not the audience, you're the MC. But this has always been a track, not in a track record, but this has always been a common thread for me, right? I was always doing this. So then I have to decide. Grade 11, I'm called upon to decide, what are you going to study after school? And I say, I'm going to be a child psychologist. And everyone is like, child psychologist? Are you crazy? You're going to be wasting your brain. You're good at math. You're good at science. Why would you waste your brain listening to people's problems? But this is the thing. I was a kid and I loved helping kids. I think at the core of me teaching and hosting and doing all these things, it was just my desire to see kids develop, right? To see kids transcend levels of themselves they didn't think were possible. So I wanted to be that, but I was told, no way, you're going to waste your brain. So I frantically took all prospectus that I could find, and I got one from Vid. And my brother-in-law particularly said, Bumi, you are so brilliant. Please don't waste your brain listening to people's problems. You'll do that in your spare time. And so I took the prospectus. Engineering, I saw mechanic, I saw aeronautical, planes. I really didn't know what to choose. And then I landed on BSc mining engineering. And I thought, what could be difficult about going underground, breaking some rock, coming out with a diamond and making good money? Anyway, so I was deterred from studying what I wanted to study because it would be a waste of my brain, right? And that is what happened when I got to first year then. I believe that I settled for a mining engineering degree. Now someone will hear this and say, settle, sissy, are you serious? Settling is like maybe working at a grocery store, because that's what we think, right? We think all these jobs we look down on and we think menial is what is settling. No, even something as high as a BSc in mining engineering for me was settling because it wasn't in accordance to who I knew I truly was deep down, okay? So I start my first year in school. When I tell you, I was sitting in mechanics and physics and maths, like, what is going on? Everything sounded like Greek, but maybe it's because it was. Gamma, delta, it was actually Greek. And I absolutely hated it. It was so difficult. I called my sister one day and I said, Lale, let's go to McDonald's. I need to talk to you about something. We meet at McDonald's in Bromfontein, and I said to her, I can't do this. It is very, very difficult. I can't. Especially because I knew it wasn't my first choice. I did not want to do it. I said to her, I can't do it. It's really, really difficult. If psychology is not the way I can help people, at least let me go to law. My sister's like, no. There are people who've got law degrees who are sitting at home with no work. Let me tell you something. As we speak, my sister is completing her qualification in law. The very same sister, but it's okay. I stuck with it. I didn't leave. First year, tough. Let me actually write StudieTrust now. So this was second year. So it's fine. And then I passed my first year. I was like, thank you, Jesus. No supplement, no repeat. I was great. Second year, I'm sitting one day in a lecture hall, in a geology lecture hall, and we were lectured by this tall Dutch professor who was a female married to a Zimbabwean man. So she was Prof. Kim Nubeheim. No? Prof comes in and she says, the mining industry is in shambles. We're sitting there like, what? And she's like, there are people who were sitting in this class who are not sitting at home because there are no jobs. We're in second year. What a way to motivate us, ma'am. And she told us, no, no job for you when you're done. We were so scared. And she told us, we're not attracting as much revenue from our minerals as we should. And here's what happened. So there was a time when China was booming, right? China was building and developing their nation, their country. And then infrastructure development stopped. They were done. So all of the minerals we were exporting to China, we were no longer exporting. We were sitting with an influx of minerals and there was no demand. So naturally, when you've got a lot of product and little demand, what do you have to do? Reduce your price so people can buy. And that is what was happening to us, right? We were in a bind, we were in a fix because China did not want our products anymore. So I'm sitting in that class like, this is all my fault. And let me give you context. Of course, I'm not that mighty to be disrupting the mining industry. I was only in second year. But let me give you context. I'm Christian, as I said, right? And in the Bible, there's this story of a man called Jonah. Who knows Jonah? That one. The one who was sent to Nineveh and thought, geez, no man, and he's the apple, I'm not going. And he decides to get onto a boat going to Tarshish. He's in this boat, Kamnandi. The audacity, he even sleeps in the boat. Turmoil, tempest, the boat is getting rocked. Jonah, fast asleep. Everyone is nervous, like, guys, what's going on? Call upon your gods. Allah, Muhammad, Buddha, let's do it. They're all praying, Jonah, fast asleep. So they think, what are we gonna do? Let's cast all the cargo in the ship out so our ship is over light. They tried, nothing happened. And then they're like, hey man, there's this guy who got onto this boat and we're not seeing him here. They go and wake Jonah up and they say, hey Jonah, this is the problem. Jonah says, guys, I'm sorry, I'm the problem. I am the problem. I'm actually running away from God and this is because of me. Just throw me out. And they're like, no, are you sure? He says, yeah, I'm sure, throw me out. And true to form, the minute they throw him out, the tempest stops. So I'm like, I'm in the wrong boat. It's me. I'm the problem. And I wasn't the problem, but because I knew I was in the wrong place, it felt like everything was my fault. Anyway, here's where I wanted to red StudieTrust out now. So, finished my second year. There was this one subject, module, course, whatever it's called, electrical engineering. Whoa. I thought first year was hard. Electrical engineering, it was tough. I really thought I had messed it up. In fact, even after I wrote the paper, I would dream about my answers when I'm sleeping. I should have added current this way. Hey, it was torturing me. School finishes and I go to a camp at the end of that year. Results are coming out. Results come out and I'm not getting mine. Guys, does this mean I failed? I tried to find out what the problem is. I called StudieTrust. They're like, oh, there was a hang up with the payment. We didn't finish paying. Number one, I know because there was a subject that was dribbling me. To not find out what my results are, I was like, I'm failing. You know when you are waiting in anticipation for something and you don't have confidence, a day feels like a week, and night is just nightmare. Guys, I was having nightmares. They only paid in January. They only paid in January. When I got my results, because I was just like, thank you, Lord, this is done. I don't have to do Ellen again. But damn you, StudieTrust. Nightmares for an entire December. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, I finished. Alright? Third year. Zabuya, third year. We're close. I know, no. Like literally, I started developing chest pains. That is how difficult it was, right? It was so hard. It was a lot of work. We were not sleeping. I finished varsity in 2016. It's 2023 now and my sleeping habits are still jacked because of varsity. I promise you, I'm like this. Go 11. Go on. I'm like this. 8 o'clock when I'm supposed to be going to school. That's when I'm just like, so it's a surprise and I'm actually so energetic now because my body clock says it's time to go to bed right now because I was studying the whole night, right? But anyway, third year, chest pains. I don't know what's going on. In fact, in third year, I also started losing my hair. Hey! And when he won, okay, I got to final year. I'm a bossa. You have been coasting. Who has been coasting all these years, Nandi, no supplement. No repeating of any subjects. Mini bossa. Also in second year, I got myself a little boyfriend around. Final year, man, I'm like, corner into it off. Something is not right. And then we discovered, well, you know, something really wasn't right. And that something was the very relationship we were in. We wrote our final exams in September. This guy and I broke up in August. Guys, I couldn't study. I was crying the whole time. Lord, why did you allow this to happen? Hey, I was a mess. I was a mess because the Lord told me to get in a relationship, right? Anyway, I was a mess, guys, to the point where he felt so bad for me. He'd actually call me, alright, I know you're writing exams. What do you need me to do? Do you need me to come help you study? And he would come help me organize. This is what you already know. This is what you haven't studied. This is what you have no idea about. And I would study, guys. How could you? Like, not even my tears are making me want to come back. And he never came back. He never came back, right? We broke up and I was broken. I was such a mess. I don't know what I was writing in those exams. I don't know what I was writing. But when I finished varsity, I actually got called into faculty and was given the certificate. And the certificate said I was on the dean's list. I'm like, what? Me? Are you sure? The same person who was sitting in mechanics, like, maybe if we explain and you see Zulu, I'll understand because I have no idea what you're saying. Anyway, I was in the dean's list, and the dean's list is the top 10% of students, and this was across the entire curriculum, right? So in the entire engineering and built environment faculty, for the whole 4 years of my degree, I was in the top 10%, meaning I'd scored over 70% overall. I was like, Jesus, Dante. And one would think, oh, so this means you were on the right path. I mean, Dean's list, come on, girl, you've got this. No, but here's the thing. Cause and effect, you sow, you reap, right? When you study, you're going to pass, hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully. So I was just passing because I was studying and I understood the work at some point. So then what happens is I come to the end of my studies and hey, we regret. Open email, we regret. The next email, we regret. I don't know how many we regret emails I got on my email account because people just were not tiring and I don't know what that was a cause of. So I come to the end of my studies, I don't have a job secured, and I'm just like, no, I'm in deep trouble. I am in deep trouble. So I couldn't graduate that year because I had outstanding VAC work that I had to do over the December period. Anyway, I do the VAC work, and once that VAC work is done, I graduated in March of 2017. So 31st of March 2017, I walked across the stage. This is normally a very joyous occasion for people. When people graduate, they are very excited. They look good. They are happy and proud of themselves. I looked good, okay. I was gonna get conferred with my degree sharp, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't pleased because what am I graduating from? What am I graduating to? If this was anything to go by, if studying this qualification is anything to go by, I was going to have a miserable next couple of years doing something I absolutely hate. And that was me. 2017, by God's grace, I get into a mining technical consulting firm. To say 2017 was a difficult year would be an understatement. I was in hell. I also would like to believe I had a bout of depression in that year. And how I know is everything that I loved, I suddenly stopped liking. I couldn't care what I wore to work. If it was for my sleepers, I was miserable. I would wake up every day when my alarm rings, feel like tearing the little hair that I had left on my scalp because I was just like, where am I going? I'm gonna waste another day, waste away again, doing work I absolutely hate. I hated every day of 2017, no cap. I really did not like it. And when I came home, so I wasn't even living at home. I lived with a family friend because the company was so far from, hey, it was just a lot. And I would cry myself to sleep. Like, Lord, what am I doing? Who am I? What am I supposed to do? Okay, of where I'm supposed to be using my life. That year was very difficult for me. I hated the job, I hated my life. I wasn't suicidal, but I didn't care to live, if that makes sense. I was just like, no, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, I don't believe that God takes people when they die. That's a story for another day. But anyway, I was just there, like, whatever, I'm done with this, I hate this. And so I thought to myself, you're either going to stay here and hate your life, or you're going to make a change. And the change that I made then was to apply for something different, to leave the mining industry altogether. And that is what I did. I applied for a role in a bank in their graduate program, right? And the reason for this is when I was in high school, economics was a great subject for me. I didn't really like accounting. And in final year, we did a subject called financial valuation. And I did well because I had that little exposure to accounting and to economics, and I sort of understood it. And so I thought, let me try that out, because I know that engineering is not what I want to do. Let me try this finance thing. So I got into a bank in their graduate program. So I want to start getting into the exciting end of my story, right? In 2017, when I was like, what am I supposed to do? The penny dropped. And when the penny dropped, I realized, Wuti, none of what I'm feeling can be solved by a new boyfriend. Unless you remember, 2016, I broke up with my boo. None of this can be solved by having a new boyfriend, or more money, or more possessions. What I was battling with was really an existential crisis. I needed to know what this gaping hole in me could be filled by. And at that time, when the penny dropped, I realized, I don't even know what my purpose is. And purpose, for simplification, is basically the reason for which something or someone is created, or the reason why they exist. I didn't know why I existed. I was just floating, doing everything I'm told to do, going everywhere I'm told to go. I had no idea who I was at the core. And so in that year, I said, Lord, reveal my purpose to me. I want to know why I'm here. And when you've done that, tell me what you need me to do with that very purpose. And so that's when the penny dropped for me, and I realized, this is what is missing. And so I went on a rigorous search. I prayed, I read. I probably read all the books you can find on purpose and passion and all these things. But the answer still never came. In fact, what bored me is seeing people say, oh, just find your purpose and it's so nice here. And I'm just like, okay, how? How did you get there? And once I get there, what do? Nobody was revealing the how, but you understand why that was the case. In 2018, 1 April night, so 2017, I had left my job at the end of the year, and I started in the bank in 2018. So one night in April, I was asleep and I remember just hearing a tag. It's what's going on? And I just felt this impulse or this impression to pick up my phone because a download was about to come. So I pick up my phone and I get a download of just random words. I put these words down on my phone and I'm just like, what is this? And God says to me, that's the blueprint. That is how you find your purpose. I'm like, okay. You couldn't wait until I woke up to understand this properly, but it's okay. I looked at this thing, I was like, hey, it's in your lala. Put my phone down and I slept. When I woke up, I felt a jolt of excitement because now I had direction. And I understood that the reason why nobody was sharing the how to find the purpose was because that is what was going to be my role, right? I just received the blueprints, and now it is my duty and my responsibility to then share what this blueprint is. And so I'm walking around this beautiful building in Sandton with these beautiful people who drive amazing, expensive cars, who have beautiful bags, beautiful shoes, and at every corner almost, the young people especially are like, hey, do you like it here? Like, is this what you'd be doing for the rest of your life if there was not another option? And I was like, yes. Because, listen, going to the bank for me was a means to an end. I even in that moment I realized that this is not it, but it will get me out of here and maybe to the direction and destination I need to go. And so I realized, okay, man, these people on the outside, they look nice, they look polished. Inside, I nearly said they're rotten. They're not rotten, but inside they were battling. And what they were battling with is what I was battling with in 2017. The question of, who am I? Why am I here? And what do I need to do with my life? And so when all these people were coming at me, I decided to then package what I had gotten as a blueprint into a business. So I hired coaches from America to really just help me put my thoughts into a package that can be understood by other people. So I got into coaching, I did all the things, listened to all the podcasts, literally set myself up in order to be able to serve people who, like me, were in this conundrum, right? And that is when I founded my company, actually in 2019 of November. I registered and founded Purpose Practitioners Club, and you'll understand what that is in a minute. So 2020 to now, the very first day I started calling clients into the business, it was profitable from day one. And I want you to understand why I'm telling you this, right? It is in line with, after having discovered my purpose, things started changing. Things started happening. Not only was I excited to wake up, not only was work that I was doing exciting me, it was creating impact. When I shared my story, people were like, that is me. You're talking about me. I can see yourself in me. I didn't realize it was a common story. I knew people had a similar pain, but I didn't realize we had a common story. And so the minute I started calling in the first clients, it was profitable from day one. I have actually, since 2020, have served almost 30 clients, and this is maybe not even almost, 30 clients, and these are 30 people who, like me, were just like, get me out of here, I hate it here. And I took them through the process, and they've also made their own career switches, their own purpose discovery, their own profession curation. And this has been the life that I've been living now. With the abundance that has come with the work that I'm doing, I got a car in 2018 on my birthday. 3 years later, on my birthday, I paid it off. And it's significant because the term for paying off my car was 6 years, so I didn't half the time. And immediately after I paid it off last year, how old am I now? Immediately when I paid it off, I started going on a journey of buying a big house. And I'm saying a big house because I grew up in Soweto in a 4-room house, well, 5-room, and my mom added a bathroom. But the house I live in now is a far stretch from the house I grew up in. And not only am I doing things, doing this, talking to you, empowering you, absolutely love it. I coach, which I absolutely love. I am fulfilled in the work that I do. Yes, it goes without saying, I left the mining industry. I'm about to leave the banking industry to go into this full time because I absolutely love it, right? And I'm creating so much impact. Every one of my clients has said, I wish I had found you sooner. I wish I had gone through this sooner. I really wish that I had known about you sooner. But even if they had known about me sooner, I was also in my own goal. I could not have helped them in any way. But we're now here, and the people who are beneficiaries of the work that I do have a beautiful story to tell. And not only that, but I'm able to see the abundance and the wealth that comes with being in your purpose. And I'm absolutely, absolutely loving it. So, who am I again? I told you I was one of you, right? But now I'm no longer one of you. Now, I'm a purpose practitioner. And what that is, in simple terms, is I do work that I love in the service of those who love the work that I do. And not only am I a purpose practitioner, I'm also a purpose practitioner producer. My work is simple. I help others turn their purpose into profession so they can experience the highest levels of fulfillment, of impact, and income. And here's why this is so important to me. I'm going to share some staggering stats with you. Number one, Gallup conducted a study called The State of the Global Workplace in 2022. And what they found is that 60%, 60%, now you got that figure, right? 60% of people reported being emotionally disengaged at work. Now, disengaged, okay. Disengaged means like you're just not there. You're there in body, but your heart, your mind is elsewhere. 60%. 6 out of 10 people absolutely don't connect with the work that they are doing. And 19% are miserable. I'm sharing this with you now because you're going to be going into the workforce very soon. And I want you to know about these things because I don't want you to be a statistic, right? 60% of people absolutely hate what they're doing. In the US specifically, 50% of workers reported feeling stressed at their job on a daily basis and daily basis stressed. 41% of them are worried, whether about the possibility of being laid off or whatever, I don't know. 22% of them are sad. And 18% of them are just downright angry. Here's another one. McKinsey also conducted some research in 2022 last year. And they found that 70% of employees say their personal sense of purpose is defined by their work. And there's no guessing why. We spend so much of our time a day working. We spend so much of our lives working. So of course you will define or derive your sense of purpose from the work that you do because it's what you do almost all your life, right? 70% of people say their personal sense of purpose is defined by their work. And when that work feels meaningful, they perform better, are much more committed, and about half as likely to go looking for a new job. Listen to this. 9 out of 10, 90% of Gen Z, this is anyone between the age of 18 and 25, said having a societal and environmental impact in their career was very high on their list of priorities. So clearly people realize that there's got to be a sense of purpose in the work that I do because they realize I perform better, I earn better, and I just live a more holistic life. That is why I do what I do because I cannot afford to have people go to work and absolutely present trash at work because that's what happens. When you're not engaged in something, the results will show. You don't have to guess somebody who loves what they do and somebody who doesn't. The results show for themselves. I don't know if any of you have heard of the concept of the Great Resignation. Anyone? No? That's okay. You're not in the workforce, so I didn't expect you to know it. So what the Great Resignation is a global trend where employees have resigned their jobs in droves, right, in masses over the past 2 or 3 years, looking for, here's the thing again, more fulfilling and purposeful work with better pay and benefits. What spurred the Great Recession? So in 2020, people introspected on their own purpose and the purpose of their job, the purpose of their work. And those who realized that there was a misalignment decided to leave altogether. More than that, they were spending more time with their families. And although some got divorced, some really actually enjoyed spending time with those that they loved. And by they I'm talking about everyone, right? Faced life and death, like stared life and death in the eye. We realized how frail life is. One day you're up in the air, you're great. The next day you can't even breathe. You put on a ventilator, and then the next day we hear that you died. People realized how frail life is, and they thought, if I'm going to be living for so short, I might as well be living the life I'm meant to live. They started enjoying remote work, and they started picking up these passion projects that they absolutely love to do. And they also then desired flexibility at work, autonomy, better pay, better career opportunities, development, healthier culture, and leadership. And after realizing this, they thought, we'd rather do work that we love because we're not, what is it saying? We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. They realize that I need to be living the good life, living the good time, and not be doing this. And so, in essence, that is me, and that is what brings us together. So now we're gonna work, because I want you to leave this room having a sense of what your purpose is. So that at the point where you decide to go into the work world, you're not betraying yourself. We spoke about people who felt disengaged with their work, right? I don't know how many of you gym, but at gym, when you're doing squats, not squats, when you're doing core exercises, they say to you, engage your core. And not just that, with a lot of other things, they say engage your core. And what this means is stomach in, right? Put it in. Engage your core, because they realize if you keep doing these workouts and your core is not engaged, you're going to hurt yourself. And so if you go into the workplace with your core disengaged, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt yourself emotionally. You're going to hurt yourself financially. You're going to hurt yourself professionally. And I want you to go out there with your core engaged. All right? So take out your papers, take out your pens. You're about to get busy. And the next exercise that I want to take you on is something called the purpose sweet spot.